Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam by Krishna Veda Vyas, Krishna Dvaipayana Veda Vyas. Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 29. When the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, he at once abandoned the dress of a king, and under pressure of fear, completely surrendered to him, bowing his head. Please repeat. When the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, he at once abandoned the dress of a king. And under pressure of fear, completely surrendered to him, bowing his head. Purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. The royal dress of the personality of Kali is artificial. The royal dress is suitable for a king or kshatriya. But when a lower class man artificially dresses himself as a king, his real identity is disclosed by the challenge of a bona fide kshatriya like Maharaj Parikshit. A real kshatriya never surrenders. He accepts the challenge of his rival kshatriya and he fights either to die or to win. Surrender is unknown to a real kshatriya. In the age of Kali, there are so many pretenders dressed and posed like administrators or executive heads, but their real identity is disclosed when they are challenged by a real kshatriya. Therefore, when the artificially dressed personality of Kali saw that to fight Maharaj Parikshit was beyond his ability, he bowed down his head like a subordinate and gave up his royal dress. So this is Punishment and Reward of Kali, Chapter 17. Prabhupada had written these purports before he came to America. Here it's describing that the personality Kali, although dressed as a king, had no qualifications. Surya Teja Dvitri Daksham Yudyecha Papalalayam. Krishna says that the quality of a kshatriya is Yudyecha Papalalayam, that he never wavers on the battlefield. Either he dies or he kills his opponent. Prabhupada also says in one purport that these modern so-called leaders are nothing but cowards. They don't go out into the battlefield, but they send others. They don't lead the charge in the battle. They have no courage. Surya Teja Dhriti Daksham. Surya. They are not abhayam or fearless. They have no courage. And they're simply pretenders. This is the symptom of the age of Kali, that there are no real kshatriyas who are leading the country. Rajasu Janaka Dasyu means that the kings in the age of Kali are stealing, simply stealing. Dasyu means thief. They're simply stealing through taxation and different ways of extracting money from the people. They're simply there to line their pockets with money. So what was happening here is that Maharaj Parikshit was traveling through his kingdom and he came upon a black man dressed up as a king, and he was beating Dharma the bull and the cow. And the bull's 3 legs were broken. Austerity, truthfulness, austerity, cleanliness, and mercy, those 3 legs were broken. And the bull was barely standing on his 1 leg of truthfulness. So in this age of Kali, no one is performing tapasya, the 4 regulative principles of Dharma. Therefore, there is no austerity there. that leg is broken. Austerity means samadhamma tapas socham shantir arjavam evacha. One should practice mind control, self-control. One should not simply go after sense gratification and live in a very luxurious way. This is a demoniac quality that nowadays, like Krishna tells Arjuna, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam, the people are simply intoxicated by sense pleasure and money. Kanya means gold, and Kumari means beautiful woman, right? So this is going on in Kali Yuga. Men dressed up like kings, but they're simply after money and Kumari. Kanya, Kumari. So, austerity is broken. Cleanliness, because of illicit sex, people have no idea, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gītā, Dharma, Viruddha Bhuteshu, Kamosmi Bharatarshava, that in any age, in Varnashram Dharma, there's provisions for sex life in the Grihastha ashram. And Krishna says, I am that sex life which is not against Dharma. It is for restricted in the marriage institution, and it's for the production of devotees. So this is what's uncleanliness is caused by this illicit connection with women. That's going on rampantly in our modern society today because of godless society. Chintama parimeyam cha pralayantam upashrita kamapa bhoga parama. They think the goal of life is kamapa bhoga, to enjoy the senses. Therefore, they're always bewildered. Chintama parimeyam cha means they're always full of misery and anxiety because they have no idea what the goal of purpose of life is. They don't even know who they are. Like Sanatana Goswami, when he met Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he was a big minister in the Muslim government. Sakir Malik, his name was Sakir Malik. And he was met by Lord Chaitanya, who was trying to go to Vrindavan. He met him in a place called Ramakeli. And Sanatana Goswami and Dabir Kash, his brother Rupa Goswami, they fell down on full dandabats and they put straw in their mouth. Although they were big ministers, they had loads of gold, boatloads of gold. They were very powerful. But Sanatana Goswami, he said to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, everyone is saying I'm such a learned man, I'm a big minister. He said, I don't really know who I am. Amike, who am I? Amike, who am I? I don't know who I am. Krishna also told Arjuna on the battlefield, before he didn't want to fight, Krishna also said, Asochananda Sochastram Pragyavasam. You speak like a learned man. Gatasun agatasun cha nanu sochanti panditaha. And you're lamenting for dead bodies. You don't know the difference between life and death. What is the soul? So this is the symptom of the age of Kali, that people have no knowledge of what they are. One time Śrīla Prabhupāda was with his first batch of devotees in India, Brahmananda, Tamal Krishna, Shyamasundar, and they had gotten 4 acres of land in Mayapur from a Muslim farmer. And Tamal Krishna gave the good news. And so gradually they started building on this 4 acres, and the Minister of Education for Bengal, he came, he said, I'd like to meet your Swami, Minister of Education. Over 100 million people there. And so his servant went in, sorry, Prabhupada, Minister of Education is here. Prabhupada said, yeah, so? Prabhupada, Minister of Education. Prabhupada slammed his fist. This is not education. This is ignorance. So in the age of Kali, we see that because of ignorance, Tesham ku patadestrinam patatam tamasihi yadaya ye shudadana vachaste vai majanti ashmaplava eva. Yesham kupata, those people who lead others on the path of darkness. Kupata, very bad direction. Patatam tamasi, he leads them into tamagun, tamasi, darkness. What is darkness? Krishna says, Mudho jonisu jayate, tata pralinas tamasa. When you die in a mode of ignorance, your next birth is in the womb of dogs and cats. That is the predicament of these so-called leaders and people in general. That they're dying in the mode of ignorance. Prabhupada said animal killing, animal slaughter is in the mode of ignorance, tamagun. Tata pralinas tamasa mudho jonisu jayate. Joni means the womb. They take birth in the womb of mudha, four-legged animals, like cats and dogs. This is a very unfortunate situation that people have absolutely no interest in this spiritual knowledge, in this Sankirtan movement. Very little desire to understand who they are. So, ye shradana vachastevai, they put their faith in foolish leaders, Kali Yuga people, Kali Yuga leaders, ignorant people, simply trying to get more and more material property, material possessions, and therefore enjoy their senses. Economic development, economic advancement, and then what do you do with all your money? You gratify your senses. That's all it is for. So, ye shradana vachastevai, they put their faith in the words of ignorant people. Majanti ashma plava eva. Ashma plava. They enter into a boat made of stone. The captain of their boat, the leaders, the presidents, the prime ministers are captains of a boat made of stone. The boat sinks. And they get a part of their sinful reactions of all their followers. Not only do they get their own sinful reaction, but because they're leaders, they get a percentage of the sinful activities, a reaction of all their followers. So they're sliding down into the deep darkness of ignorance. So Mars Parikshit, being a very grandson of Mars Yudhisthira, great Kshatriya, he was protecting the Praja, citizens of his kingdom. Who are Praja? Praja are all creatures. In the 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Yudhisthira Maharaj is hearing from Narada Muni, Mrigoscha kara markaku sarasvip kaga mukshitaha atmanat putravatpas, yet that the person, the householder, actually 14th chapter of Bhagavatam, 7th canto, says Mriga Ostra, that the deer, the jackal, the camel, the monkey, no, all these different creatures, Markaku, Sarasrip, even the serpent, Sarasrip, Kaga Mukshikaha, the fly. Mukshi means fly, right? And Kaga means the camel. All these different creatures, the householder should see them, Atmavat Putravat Pasyat, see them as his own putra, his own children, and he should not kill them. And then in the purport, Śrīla Prabhupāda is saying there, in this Kali Yuga, they use so many herbicides and pesticides in the fields, and they kill all the mice, they kill the insects. They have to receive a karmic reaction for this. They have to be punished. In the 4th canto, we see that Maharaj Barhishmati, he is a descendant of Dhruva Maharaj. So, Narada Muni visits him. Narada Muni is always trying to help personalities. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. So he approached King Barhishmati And being a descendant of Dhruva, he said, why are you performing this karma kanda? You're killing all these animals for sacrifice. This is actually sakama. This is not bhakti. This will bind you in this world, that all these animals, and then Narada Muni showed the king all the animals that are waiting to kill him. That every animal you kill, it will get an opportunity to kill you. And also, it's described in the 5th canto that when a person kills animals for eating, boiling them, then he has to take birth in Maharorava. It's one of the many, many hellish planets where the Rurus, very envious being, more envious than snakes, they come and punish and eat and devour that person who has been dragged down to hell having engaged in sinful activities. This is not, this is Shastra, this is not some science fiction. This is not some author wrote this. Srimad Veda Vyasadeva Dharma Projita Kaitravotra Paramo Nimatsaranam Sadam Vedyam Vasaram Atrishivalam Tapantraya Mulam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Para Ishvaraha. That Veda Vyasadeva is an incarnation of God himself. He is the author of all the Vedas. Shastra means the absolute truth. He is giving truth. That if you don't follow Shastra, if you're not guided by Veda Vyasadeva, the Brahminical culture, the Shastra, Yashastra Vidyam Uttrija Vartate Kamakarate, if you just do whatever you want, then you will be punished at the time of death. At the time of death, the foolish human being who has worked all his life to accumulate wealth and property and enjoy, disregarding the injunctions of scripture, disregarding his own conscience, stealing and lying to get money, then he sees the Yamadutas. At the time of his death, he sees them coming with red eyes, very angry. And they come and drag his subtle body with his soul and take him down to Pitrilok, down to Yamalok, which is on the bottom of our universe. 2 billion miles from the top of our universe is the Garbhodakshaya ocean. And at the bottom of the Garbhodakshaya ocean, we find the Patalas, Atala, Vitala, all the lower planets. And there also are the hellish planets. And Lord Yamaraj, he knows every single, Chitragupta is writing down every time you commit a sin. So Yamaraj, the judge of the universe, he has to disperse the justice. You have killed, you have done this, you have done that. So you have to be punished. Just like the state of the government here, if you're a thief or a murderer, you have to be punished. So it's the same thing. So Vedavyasa is speaking like this. Fortunately, in Kali Yuga, there's some hope. Kalir dosha nide rajan astireka mahadgunan kirtanareva krishnasya mukta sangha paramraja. That we find ourselves in Kali Yuga. Kriteyad Dhyayato Vishnu. In Satya Yuga, Dhruva Maharaj meditated for 10,000 years. They meditated for Kardama Muni also meditated for thousands of years because they lived 100,000 years. Kriteyad Dhyayato Vishnu, they meditate on Vishnu. Tretayam Yajana Makai. In Treta Yuga, they did huge, very opulent sacrifices, fire sacrifices with lots of ghee, very, very opulent, lots of diamonds, gold, all these things. Dvaparam Paricharyayam, in Dwapara Yuga, there was opulent temple worship. People worshiped the deities and so on. And it required a lot of wealth and so on. And very opulent Rajasuya Yagya like Yudhisthira Maharaj. But in Kali Yuga, Kalir Yad Dari Kirtanad all the benefits you get from those performances, those dharmas in previous ages, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. Kalarya Dari Kirtana, very simple, easy process. Simply take seriously this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, given by the Parampara system. Now that we think we can make up, take it without surrendering to the Guru Parampara. The Guru Parampara has been established. Kavi Karnapurna, he writes a whole poem from Lord Brahma, then there's Narada Muni, then Veda Vyas, going down, Madhavacharya, all the great acharyas. We are so fortunate to have received the blessings of these great acharyas. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who came 540 years ago. Who is Lord Chaitanya? It's described by Veda Vyas in the Canto 12. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishna, Sangopangasya Parshanam, Yagyai Sankirtane Prayir, Yajanti He Sumedasha. That the Lord comes and he's disguised as a devotee. And he comes with his brother. Lord Balaram also comes. He comes in the form of Lord Nityananda. And they come with all their associates. The Panchatattva, Advaita Charya, Shadashiva. He comes with his wife, Parvati. That's Sita Thakurani. Very powerful personalities have appeared in Sridham, Navadvip, Mayapur. The Lord himself. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nohyanya. So God is very merciful, even in this Kali Yuga when everyone is slaughtering the cow. It makes it very, very difficult. Prabhupada said, killing animals is very bad. He describes that in the 16th chapter, Bhagavad-Gītā. Adharmam dharmam itya manyate tamasavritaha. That those who see religion as irreligion, and they see irreligion as religion. So their religion, the atheistic demons, most of the people in the world, their religion is simply to get more money, get more things. They think that this world, asatyam apatishtam te, jagadahuranish, there's no supreme being, there's no source to our universe. It all happened from matter gave rise to life. As Prabhupada says in his book, Life Comes from Life. These scientists and academics, they're all demons, atheistic demons. Samsareshu Naradhamam. Their Naradhama means they have advanced technology, advanced scientific knowledge. Shipamiya Jashamashama. Krishna says they cast them into the lower species of life after their death. So they're leading our society today into godlessness. All the education is simply to teach people how to become atheists, how to disregard behavior, negative behaviors, and therefore the world is in a huge chaos. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his mercy, Prabhudananda Saraswati, he's according to the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika, he's an incarnation of Tunga Vidya, one of Radharani's very close associates, one of the 8 Sakis of Radharani.
Who's that?
Prabhudananda Saraswati. He is from the Sri Rangam temple. His nephew is Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So many great Nityasiddhas appeared. It's stated that Ramananda Roy, in the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika by Kavi Karnapurna, he says that Ramananda Roy is a combination of 2 different Nityasiddhas, Arjuna, the Pandava, and Lalita, the intimate associate of Radharani. So they all come. All these great personalities come with Lord Chaitanya, and they want to taste. Why did Krishna come? He wants to taste this prema that Radharani has for him. He wants, this Radharani, she's so much full of prema. Let me taste it myself. So that's the esoteric reason for him coming. And of course, in the mood of Radharani, Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalita. Dyuti means the effulgence. Radharani's effulgence is golden. So the Lord appears in the effulgence of Radharani, but also in her compassion. Radharani is Karunya. She's very compassionate, very merciful. Therefore, if you want the mercy of Krishna, you have to approach Radharani. We have to avoid aparad. Aparad means offenses to Radharani. She is the queen of all the Vaishnavas. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu has come. He is Krishna, come in the mood of a devotee, and he comes with all his associates, many associates. When we live in West Bengal, there's so many descriptions. This person, Kashish Vakreshwara Pandit, he's another Nitya Siddha. He lived in this area. Raghava Pandit, he lived near Panihati. There's still some ruins of his temple in that area, Panihati. You can go there and see his descendants. When I was in Calcutta lately, we met the descendant of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Who was Bhaktivinoda Thakur? He's Nitya Siddha. It's described that he is a Manjari. And he is a descendant of a disciple of Lord Nityananda. So Nityananda, who's Balaram, Sati Sutta, Balaram Horlo Nitai, one of his disciples is the upline from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this whole area of Shinadia, this whole area of Bengal, so many great personalities, and all their descendants now, they're coming to see Radha Madhava and Panchatattva in Mayapur. Sarva Bhattacharyas, Chakravartis, they're all descendants, Dattas, Ghoshas, like that. So this age of Kali, there's this great quality that this holy name of the Lord, chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will spread and dissipate the darkness of Kali Yuga. And that hopefully the leaders of society, they will become converted into the Varnashram system. So here we read how the cow and bull are being brutalized by the personality of Kali. Dharma the bull, religion is being brutalized by the personality of Kali. And Maharaj Parikshit, a descendant of Maharaj Yudhishthira, he's a grandson of Arjuna, or he's considered a grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He's pure devotee of Lord Krishna. He's a great devotee of the Lord, so they have become empowered to establish Dharma. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is described that by Krishna's arrangement, all the kings, they were all killed at the battlefield. 640 million warriors were killed on this battlefield by Krishna's desire. Why? Because yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. They're all demonic. They're all promoting irreligion. And the Kauravas were very greedy. Dhritarashtra was influenced by greed and prestige and desire for power. Dambo darpo bimanascha kruda purusha evacha. Agyana chabidastasya parta sampadim asurim. Krishna describes very clearly the qualities of demons. So, arrogance, pride, conceit, harshness, anger. These are not qualities of the sadhus, the saints. These are unsaintly qualities. So, during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, described in this Canto 1, Chapter 10, Kama Vivarta Parjanya Sarva Kama Dugamahi Sisichu Smat Vrajangavan. That during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Parjanya, the rains came at regulated times, and everything, agriculturally, everything was so opulent, so wonderful. So much profuse amounts of vegetables, fruits, and also diamonds and minerals, rubies, all valuable stones were being produced by the mountains, and the rivers and oceans produced pearls. Everyone was full of opulence. Gold was everywhere. The Pandavas, Prabhupada said in a class I was there, he said, the Pandavas would eat off a gold plate, pure gold, and then they'd throw it in the streets, and the Sudras would get it. Some mercy, they get some gold, like this. Arjuna's chariot was made of gold. So, Kama Vavarsha Parjanya, Sarva Kama Dugamahi, all the necessities of life were supplied by nature, who cooperated. Mother Bhumi, nature, the demigods, they all cooperated because Yudhishthira Maharaj was Dharmaraj. He was the representative of Dharma, the son of Lord Yamaraj. So in this way, and Shishachusmat Brachan Gavan, the cows were very happy, and their milk bags were so full of milk that they were irrigating all the pasturing grounds. All the pasturing grounds are not naturally irrigated by milk from the cows, others, like this. Cows were very, very happy. Nowadays, the cows are completely in anxiety, completely traumatized, because they know, Prabhupada said they know they're going to be slaughtered. They're simply being raised to be slaughtered, so they're in great anxiety, like that. Very, very, very profound, serious reaction to killing cows. So, not only did Maharaj Yudhishthira make sure that the cows were protected, they're of course one of the 7 mothers, right? Atmamata Guru Patni, Brahmani Raja Patnika, Denu Datri Tata Pritvi. So Denu, the cow, is also a descendant of Surabhi. And Lord Krishna, what is he doing in the spiritual world? He's not, just worrying about people's sinful life or worrying about is the sun going to rise tomorrow. Those are going on by his power, right? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagada vyaktimurtina matstani sarvabhutani maite te shuchapyam. Nachamat sarvabhutani yoga maishwaram bhuta brin nacha bhuta sto mamatva bhuta bhavanaha. That the Lord is spread everywhere, and he is Maya Dyakshena. He's running the show. All the planets, everything, the sun, its orbit, the moon's orbit, all the planets, Jupiter, everything's going on by Krishna's Shakti. Sarvasya Shakti Vivihaya Vashuyate Swabhavaki Jnana Balakriyacha. Unlimited, inconceivable power Krishna has. But in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan, he's a cowherd boy. And he has Surabhi. Chintamani Prakrasadmasu Kalpariksha Lakshivitisu Surabir. These cows are wish-fulfilling. Like, whatever you want to offer Krishna, the cow will supply you. Surabhi cow. Vishishta, the sage Vishishta, he had a Surabhi cow. and Vishwamrita attacked him with his army. And sage Vishishta, the Surabhi cow, produced all kinds of warriors to fight. They have so much mystic power. So, Surabhi, Krishna is herding the cow. He is the lover of the cow. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya. She is very special. Cow is very special. And Prabhupada says, I think in this chapter, that one who derives milk from the cow is getting liquid religiosity. That when we protect the cow and drink her milk, our brain becomes very fertile, and we're able to understand that we are an eternal servant of Krishna, God, right? We are the eternal servants of Krishna. So this is very important. And unfortunately, in our society today, there's nothing but blindness, as I mentioned, nate vidu, swartha gatim hi Vishnu. That they don't know that their real self-interest is Lord Vishnu, Krishna. And Andarya Tandar, they're simply blind men leading other blind men into a deep dark well. That's Prahlad Maharaj told his father Hiranyakashipu. Andarya Tandar, they're simply going down into darkness for millions of lifetimes. So someone who gets Prabhupada's mercy, when they get this Srimad Bhagavatam in their hands, when they read a purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda, they are associating with the great Shaktivish avatar. Lord Chaitanya, he would enter someone's body and they would become Shaktivish. Shakshad. Shakshad means one who is empowered. Means like Lord Chaitanya entered into this Pradyumna Brahmachari's body. Nishingananda Brahmachari became empowered. Anyone that saw him or touched him, they would be endowed with love for prema bhakti. Pure chanting, pure ecstasy, their tears would flow from their eyes, right? Yugaitam nimeshana chakshusha pravishaitam. It's for real. Prema bhakti was given freely by Lord Chaitanya. So, Lord Chaitanya entered into the body of Nakula Brahmachari also. And he also entered into the body from the Padma River. He was there, he put his Shakti there. And when Narottam came there to the river started overflowing. And this golden doll came out of the river and entered into the body of Narottam. And he became an empowered Mahashayana. And he spread this Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. He spread the Sankirtan movement all over India, all over Bengal and other states. He was empowered by the Lord. So Śrīla Prabhupāda was sent to the West, brought here by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He empowered him. He's an empowered Shaktivish. And whatever he has done, accomplished, is just nothing less than a miracle. And how do we give association? His purports. When people read his purports, it is non-different from hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prabhupada said, book distribution, that is also Sankirtan Yagya. So they become unknowingly purified by reading Prabhupada's purports. And then slowly, Prabhupada used to say, that's the beginning of their advancement. When they give a little donation to the devotees, they get some prasadam, very powerful. It's mixed with the saliva of Lord Krishna, according to Krishnadas Kaviraj. The prasadam, the bhoga, ordinary ingredients, when it's offered to Radha Krishna or Gaurnitai or Jagannath, it becomes mixed with their saliva, and the people become purified by this prasadam. So Prabhupada's given us all these different weapons. We have an arsenal of weapons, how to transform this planet into a Krishna-conscious planet and save them from destruction, actually. So I'll stop here because it's time to stop. And maybe we have some comments from my erstwhile brother, Jai Govinda Prabhu. Comment or question? Go ahead.
Yes, how amazing it is that it is fear that allows Kali to surrender, not a very charming emotion, but fear is sufficient. What do you think of that?
Fear, Kali surrendered because of fear, not out of love, but out of fear.
The question is what?
Fear motivated the surrender of person of Kali, not on the basis of love.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about it?
Well, he surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj, but then he said, you must give me a place in your kingdom. He didn't become a devotee. And then Parikshit Maharaj said, you can stay wherever there's gold, right? Lots of money. Where's there a lot of money? Gold. So we see in America, so much Kali Yuga in America. Canada also, so much, wherever there's lots of money. People running to Canada for making money. So wherever there's lots of hoarding of gold, then these 4 irreligious principles, illicit connection with women, intoxication, animal slaughter, meat eating, and gambling will become profuse. So not that out of fear, because he's a great king, great devotee of the Lord, he knew he could not fight him. He surrendered, and then Parikshit gave him a place to live because this is his time. This is his age, the age of Kali. And the Lord is so merciful that he comes personally in the Kali Yuga to offset this influence and save us.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Thank you. So, Prabhupada Saraswati, he wrote a book called Chaitanya Chandrika, Chandramrita. And there he's addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's saying, it was really great, like Lord Nrsingadev, he come out of a pillar in Satyuga and he killed Hiranyakashipu. And then Ramachandra, in your form as Ramachandra, you went to Sri Lanka, you killed Ravana. That was nice. And then with Krishna, as Krishna, he killed so many demons, Bhaumasura and Jarasandha, and killed Kamsa, killed Shishupal, killed Dantavaka. That's okay. But in Kali Yuga, the greatest glory is that you're giving pure love of God, pure love, prema bhakti, to the most fallen souls. That's the greatest glory over all your other avatars. Of course, Nanavataram, millions of avatars. He says, this avatar is so special. He's at the top, because he's so merciful. He's not killing anyone. And he's giving not just like bhakti, like the Ramanuja Acharya, he gives some bhakti, a varnashram system, follow varnashram. But Bhagavan Mahaprabhu was pushing prema bhakti, love of God, how to love Krishna in the mood of a friend, a servant, a parent, or a conjugal lover. He's revealing everything. He's giving us, we are contains this love of God. The 6 Goswamis, Rupa Sanatan, they were tasting this love between Radha and Krishna, and the gopis were dancing with Krishna. This is all being revealed to us by this incarnation, this avatar. Very merciful, no qualification. We don't deserve it. We're most undeserving. So Krishna knows I have to come and be very merciful in this age. It's the most degraded age. So the personality Kali, our business is preaching mission. Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, you preach as vigorously as I did. And we're preaching in our many different ways. We had Rath Yatras lately. Lord Jagannath, very merciful, especially to meat eaters. Says that Lord Jagannath is very merciful to the Malechas and Yavanas. And when Yamuna was chanting at with the Beatles, Prabhupada started glorifying Narada Muni during her kirtan. And Prabhupada, why did you do that? He said, didn't you see Narada Muni came to see the Malechas and Yavanas chanting? So Jagannath is very merciful, and he's all over the world now. So many Rath Yatras are going on. He's very merciful. Even the Pandas in Puri, they eat fish. Still he accepted. Whatever we're getting from the Jagannath temple, the prasad, is being cooked by the Pandas. They eat fish, but still he accepts. He's very forgiving. And he wants that everyone should get his prasadam. So there's some special mercy in this age of Kali. Hare Krishna. Would you have something? Comments or something? Mr. Jagannath Rath Yatra.
Hare Krishna. What an amazing class. Your ability to make reference and Shastra reference is uncanny. Very inspiring. I don't really have any questions, but I'm
Well,
Thank you.
thank you, Prabhu. I'm coming to Vancouver where, I joined in 1972 a little house near the PNE, East Vancouver. And we all joined then, we're all hippies. And we all joined. We were very rebellious, very angry. We were disillusioned and dejected, just completely so much money here, so much technology, and people are miserable. Everyone's so unhappy. You go to third world places where I was born, or many of these countries, they're more human. I went to Russia. People are so human there. They don't have a whole lot. It's not like Canada. But they're so sweet-hearted people, simple-hearted. Where you go, like in Bengal, people are so sweet-hearted. They come to see Krishna, they want to get a Bhagavad-Gītā. So anyway, we were rebellious, and we were very revolutionary. Che Guevara, And so Prabhupada gave us transcendental Che Guevara. He turned us into soldiers, where we went out and some or another distribute his books and build the movement. And then this property manifested by Krishna's Lord Chaitanya's grace is very amazing that this property manifested here. We didn't have any jobs or anything. We had no education, but somehow by our Prabhupada's empowerment and inspiration of Śrīla Prabhupāda, we just gave our lives to Prabhupada. And these things are manifesting. I'm so grateful that the deities are so beautiful, so well taken care of. The property is being nicely taken care of. Jagavinda Prabhu has been here since 79, I don't know, a long time. And he's...
I was initiated in 83.
Anyway, he met devotees in the 70s, and maintenance is very important. It's easy, getting money and buying property, but to maintain, maintenance, it requires some more goodness, And so I'm very touched because, we did a lot of austerity to raise the funds and sell Prabhupada's books all over Western Canada, living in a van for years and years, just every day. Of course, it was ecstatic because you feel Prabhupada's mercy, but a lot of blood and sweat and tears was spent to acquire this beautiful property for Shri Madan Mohan. Prabhupada gave them the name. He gave the name Madan Mohan, and they're very nicely taken care of, very beautiful, Jagannath, Gaurnitai.
Also indirectly gave the name of the community,
New Gokula. Yeah, he told about that.
It was from Brazil,
Brazil.
and then they moved here, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the history is there, and we know that the future is bright. And Prabhupada always kept saying that the Bharatvarshis, if you have a birth in a Hindu family in India, you must have done some pious activities. A lot of pious activities. I mean, people are so pious there, They automatically have a nature like God, who is God and serve God. It's there. Bharat Bhumite Manusya Janma Hoyo. So Prabhupada was saying that if you, in his purpose, you got a birth in India, you took birth in the womb of Sanatan Dharmi. It's a very good birth. Maybe you gave a big donation somewhere in America and then you died. You took birth in a Bengali lady's womb or somewhere. Somewhere in Vrindavan. But he wanted the Bharatvarshis, the people of India, to uphold and promote and help the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya, that they're all over the world. Wherever you go, they're Indians, even in Russia. So many Indian students. And they come to the temple and we tell them, it's good, material requirements are there, but you have to embrace this Sanatan Dharma, this Bhakti. Very important. And give it to Yaradekitadikaha. Give it to your co-workers, give it to your friends, your Canadian friends, your Russian friends. Introduce them, just give them a little book, little prasadam. You don't have to be too forceful, and they will take interest. So it's very nice that the Indian community is very supportive. It's very, very nice, very inspiring. Everything looks very nice here.
I have a question here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, the system is designed in such a way. The system is designed in such a way that the Kali is more powerful in this time.
More powerful?
Kali is more powerful at this time. So kids are going to school, they don't learn anything over there except the academically, that's all. And that creates more of competition rather than saying that, okay, this is what I love doing. Second is, when you go to the corporate offices, again there is a greed, there is an excitement of going on the top always, and everyone is doing it. So, do you think that people will be awakened now because they have got the taste of everything? And if yes, how they can awaken themselves?
Do I think what?
Do you think that people will be awakened now because they are lost right now and nobody is helping them because the system is designed in such a way that they are getting into the trap all the time? The step which they are taking, they are not coming out of it, they are getting deeper in it. So that's my question. And I think so, I'm a part of it, right? So
The fortunate part is, if we look historically, these empires come and go. Puna puna charvita charvananam. Prabhupada says in our purport, there's so many empires. The Roman Empire was huge. Then Jesus showed up. And the Roman Empire crashed. And they had some religion. Then religion waned. Now no one's following Christian or Muslim, very few are following Hindu. So we're in this technological age, machine age, and fortunately, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement has crossed the oceans. And Prabhupada has warned many places that this godless civilization, it will self-destruct. There's too much bad karma. Every year 33 million cows are killed in America. I don't know how many in Canada. So when people suffer a little bit, just like when I go to Russia, people have suffered a lot. And so, of course, there's, because of communism and so on, there's not a whole lot of Aishvarya. Like here, you notice it right away when I come to Canada, so much Aishvarya. So those people, because they suffer, they're kind of integrated with each other. They're very humble. They're interested. People become philosophical when they're suffering. Why am I suffering? So, as Krishna warned, Bhogaishvarya Prasakti, it's very difficult to become a devotee when you're intoxicated by, $1 million house and you got stocks and bonds. You're watching your stocks and bonds go up and you can fly to Florida or Miami. So they're like intoxicated. But there is always people who are intelligent enough to see through the illusion, and they're seekers. And there's seekers everywhere. Everywhere you have seekers. And there's seekers here in the West as well, this society. We, of course, purity is a force, so as we become more and more purified, we can attract people. The more Krishna we develop, more attachment to Krishna, and more we chant purely, people will be attracted to that. And people, although they're living this life of opulence and sense pleasure, they're suffering because Rajasastu phalam dukkam. In the mode of passion, which is based on sense gratification, Krishna says all you get, the only payment you get is dukkha. Dukkha is unhappiness, misery. So although they look good, they go home, they have so much mental problems, anxiety, depression, suicide rate. One theologian in Seattle, Stephen Meyer, he wrote a book called The Return of the God Hypothesis. And looking at historically in the last 3 decades, teenage suicide has doubled and tripled, divorce rates doubled and tripled, violent crimes doubled and tripled in America. And he's a Christian. She said, what's happening in America? So much drug abuse and just horrible, horrible things going on. And he was looking back, when they founded America and everyone was into religion and people were pious and so on. He says, see, are we really making advancements? So he wrote a book called The God Hypothesis. And he blames a lot of it to the atheistic propaganda that's being perpetrated in the universities. Atheism, they call it secularism. No religion, don't speak religion. We're secular. You're not really secular if you don't allow us to present that God could exist. You're saying Darwin, he's our God, So we have to continue preaching, and purity is a force. If we can pray for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, pray for the mercy of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Krishna, because Lord Chaitanya has predicted that this movement will be known. His name will be known in every little town and village in the whole planet. Everyone will know about Lord Chaitanya eventually. We're only 70 years old. ISKCON is what, 70? From 66?
60th. This is the 60th anniversary.
Oh, sorry, 60. 60.
66 to 26. 60th
Yeah.
anniversary.
We're not even walking yet. We're still crawling, still wearing diapers. So we don't want to look, of course, we don't want to look and say, oh, look at all this guru, this problem, that problem. That will go on, but the purity will carry. Bhaktisiddhanta was very disgusted with his Gaudiya Math. He sat in a place called Ultadanga, which is near Yogapit, and he sat under an umbrella. For 10 years, he chanted 300,000 names of God a day at this place. You can go there. There's deities there, a temple there, and see where he sat in the rain with snakes, everything. And you got, the mercies, chanting and getting mercy and empowerment. Of course, he's from the spiritual world. He's his Nitya Siddha. And then he built this mat, 64 mats. He built the Gaudiya mats. And so many people became devotees from all castes. He destroyed the Brahminical caste system, all this nonsense. And he made devotees from all different backgrounds and so on. But then he saw that they were kanishta, they were materialistic. Oh, we should, get a nice room in our temple made of marble. And he was very upset. And he told Prabhupada, he said, there's fire in these walls. If you ever get money, print books. And so one disciple was empowered, across the ocean at the age of 79, 80, and the rest is history. So we have to have hope. Not that we look around, this and that. No, we have to rectify whatever issues have been done. And we also know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're a very, very new movement, 60-year movement. And slowly but surely the movement now is over 500 temples and communities, so. Yes, Hare Krishna. Yeah, well, Prabhupada was in Hardwar, Rishikesh with his disciples, and suddenly he got really, really sick. So he said, no doctors, no hospitals, take me to Vrindavan. I'm going to die in Vrindavan. So he went to Vrindavan, 1977, I don't know, July, sometime like that, August. And he was very, very sick, and he could see the symptoms were there. So, of course, that was the a huge wave of preaching in America and Canada and Western Europe, South America. Huge wave, powerful, powerful. Śrīla Prabhupāda empowered us all. Thousands of devotees going out, distributing books. People were joining here in Vancouver. People were joining practically every week. Young people, non-Hindus, were joining. Young guys, young people, disillusioned people. Anyway, I was sent by Bhagavad, the temple president, to go to Vrindavan and chant for Prabhupada. So we were chanting for Prabhupada that week, the week of the 14th. So I went there around the 8th or 9th. And Prabhupada's godbrothers were coming to see him, and Prabhupada was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Although, he wasn't eating. He hadn't eaten for months. He was just getting a little drops, and his organs were breaking down. And he, anyway, kept going. Very powerful. Even in that state, you could feel the power. It was like, I would imagine Grandfather Bhishmadev full of arrows, and still completely lucid, and Krishna conscious. That's what he was like. Because when he said something, you could just hear the power of what he said. So it's old news that my GBC was trying to get volunteers because there was no backhoes, no excavators. It was just little spades. And we need to dig Prabhupada's Samadhi, which was 10 by 10 by 12. And so everyone was so traumatized when Prabhupada left. It was like a dark cloud. People were growing on the ground. People were so hysterical. And the GBC was in charge of Prabhupada Samadhi digging. He was my GBC. He was Jagadish. And he's trying to get devotees. And so we all went outside. He was standing there, come on, And so I put my hand up. I said, yeah, I'd love to dig Prabhupada Samadhi. And so myself and my friend, godbrother, Abhinanda from Seattle, we were young brahmachari, we were boys. We were 25, 26-year-old boys. We didn't know anything, we just knew Prabhupada. So we, took about 11 hours and we dug sand. Dug out, this was sand, so it wasn't like hard, it wasn't rock. It was Raman Reti. It means sand, very sandy. I imagine the Yamuna was much closer in 500 years ago. It was called Raman Reti, sandy, play sand. And so we dug, and then about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it was complete. During that time, during those days, Prabhupada said, I want to do something. So one group of devotees were, let's put Prabhupada on a bullock cart with Lokanath Swami and take him around Govardhan Hill and take him to all the temples, Radha Damodar, Radha Raman, Samasundar, Gokulanand, and so on. The other group, led by Tamar Krishna, one group was led by Hamsaduta, said, oh, you have to follow the instructions of your guru. And Tamar Krishna was like, no way. The Kavri Raj was saying, probably you'll leave your body if you go on a bullock cart. So there was a big standoff between these two parties. And Tamar Krishna, of course, he was senior. He just refused to allow Prabhupada to go on the bullock cart. So that was going on. Prabhupada had a godbrother called, he was a Babaji, Krishnadas Babaji. And when he walked in the room, this person was chanting 24/7. And Bhaktisiddhanta noted that. He's always chanting on his japa. And he chanted very loudly. So when he came by us, we could feel the potency of a Mahabhag, an Uttama Adhikari. You could feel it, that this person, just chanting all day, all night, just chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And if you asked him a question for advice, he would just laugh and say, chant Hare Krishna. So he went to Śrīla Prabhupāda and he was saying, Prabhupada, you're the greatest of all the acharyas. You have spread Lord Chaitanya's prediction. You fulfilled the Gauranga Mahaprabhu's prediction. All over the world, people are chanting, you're the greatest acharya. And Prabhupada said, no, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sridhar Swami, no. So, no, you have done it. You have done it. You know? And then Prabhupada said, some of my disciples are falling down. That's why I'm sick. That was kind of discouraging to me, like to hear that. But he said, you know, when the spiritual master takes too many disciples and they fall down, then he gets the reaction. So he mentioned that also at that time. And then his godbrothers were coming in. Now Prabhupada writes in many places, my godbrothers are neophytes. He even refers to them in Chaitanya Charitamrita that they're criticized in initiating into sannyas, Western devotees. And Prabhupada adjusted things for social norms. Women were given Brahmin. The Western women were given Brahmin. They were equal, you know, opportunity to preach and be devotees and serve the deities. Little different from India. So Prabhupada adjusted based on social norms. And he was criticized by his godbrothers, especially the giving sannyas to these malechas. So when his godbrothers would come in, you know, to offer their homage, he said, please forgive me, I've offended you. And he was asking them all, please forgive me, I've offended. Every single godbrother, he would say, please forgive me, I've offended you. But it is true, he was criticized for the way he spread the movement, very innovative, the way he spread it. He allowed us to wear non-devotional clothes to sell the books, you know, and so many different ways we had to innovate to distribute these books in the airports. It was very hostile. People would punch us, beat us, call the police. That's what it was like. And he said, you're my soldiers, this is war. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you're Senapati, you're what? Commander-in-Chief. So that analogy of war, of military war, was there, that Prabhupada was giving, and even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we're warriors against Kali, against Maya, we're waging war. And it took a lot of determination, you know, and you know, Bhaktisiddhanta once said, some of my disciples that fell away, said, in a war, some soldiers get injured. So Prabhupada was referring to us like soldiers, you know, like that. So, he apologized to all his godbrothers, but what he has done is incredibly great miracle. And his name will be there in the history of this Kali Yuga, right up for the, you know, till the end, you know, that this great personality crossed the ocean on a cargo boat with no money, empowered by Lord Chaitanya. Amazing. So we want to avoid, of course, there's Guru Aparad, and people, they wear saffron, they wear dhoti, they wear tilak, but they offend Prabhupada. They offend the Acharya, the Guru. So we have to avoid this sadhu nindan. Prabhupada said, ISKCON is my body, BBT is my heart, and the books are my bloodstream. So if we criticize or do something against ISKCON, you're directly offending Śrīla Prabhupāda, and you will suffer. You will get a reaction. That is for sure. So people criticize ISKCON, but Prabhupada said, ISKCON's my body. So we have to be careful, or else Nakati, our whereabouts, we will suffer. We will lose that. Devotional creeper will be trampled on. It's called the elephant offense, Hati Mata. It's an elephant. When an elephant goes in your garden, it destroys everything, destroys your garden. So this is very, very serious, that we have to be avoiding these offenses against the ISKCON community, against ISKCON, against devotees, and especially against the founder Acharya, Śrīla Prabhupāda. This movement will go on. Prabhupada said, dogs will bark, but the caravan will keep going. So yeah, they tried to snuff us out in New York. Jews and Christians organized a case against us. And, you know, Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada said, that was Krishna's arrangement for us to get more publicity. They're trying to say we're not a religion. We should be banned from America. 1975, banned. And the judge, he got all these recommendations from big scholars all over the world. All these recommendations. This is a bona fide, the oldest religion. This is totally authentic. And the judge threw it out. It took a few hours and he threw it out. So of course we have enemies. They're our enemy. Harbo, this is not good. We have so many enemies. And when people said, what do you think? People are criticizing you. And so Prabhupada said, oh, you have no enemies? You also have enemies. So this is the Kali Yuga, this is the material world. There will always be challenges, but we have to go on strongly and depend on Krishna. We have to depend on Krishna. He will. Prabhupada said, you depend on Krishna, Krishna will help you. Krishna will help this movement. This is all arranged by Lord Chaitanya himself. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.